Hello students, how are you people? Hope you are all doing well. And yes, yesterday we have discussed about basically regarding the characteristic of the living organisms. So today we will be studying about the tissues also. So let me tell you just let us have an overview that what we studied yesterday. We studied about the characteristic of the living, that means metabolism, then growth, reproduction, cellular organization, as well as mainly we have discussed about the consciousness, right? So those are the most important features of the living. And in the living, yes, what are the living organisms are made up of? Yes, we say that mainly today we are going to discuss about animal tissues, right? We are going to discuss about animal tissues, and all the living organisms are made up of what? All the living organisms are made up of cells. So cells we call it as the unit of life. The unit of life. A single cell can be used to create a whole organism or individual. We call it as the cell. So cell is the unit of life that has the ability to become an entire organism if appropriate environment is provided. Now we are going to study about the animal tissues as such. Then you need to understand what is the basic definition of animal tissues. So when we talk about basically tissue, so what is the tissue? Tissue is basically we call it as the group of cells. Group of cells. Basically, when we say group of cells, they should be differentiated. Differentiated group of cells which are differentiated, having common origin and common function also. So that is what we talk about, mainly the tissue. Tissue is, if we say simply group of cells, yes, it may become a what we can say, group of cells can be a cancer tumor also, right? So we should not say just as a group of cells. It is the group of differentiated cells, we can say, and they are mainly originating from the common source or common stock, and then they are having the common function. Then we call them as mainly, yes, as a tissue. So how these tissues are originated? We need to understand how the tissues are originated and how actually the type of tissues. Let me tell you here, when we say tissues are there, yes, in our body, definitely the human body is having the tissues, the animal body is having the tissues, the plants are having the tissues. So when we talk about, take the example of this is an egg. So an egg, now it is mainly, yes, crossed or fertilized by a sperm, right? So when egg and sperm further they fuse. So this is the sperm. When they fuse, what will develop? There is a development of zygote, we say. So zygote or embryo. This embryo further undergo the division. 2-cell stage it become. Then it become, yes, we can say that 2-cell stage to 4-cell, 4 to 8-cell. Let that number of cells it divide. Ultimately, yes, it become, we can say, multicellular structure. It become multicellular structure, because I am going to tell you how actually tissues have developed, right? So this is what we say zygote. This is also now the embryo. So 2-cell stage, 8-cell stage embryo. Now a embryo with more number of cells, and it is very solid mass of cells only. We call this stage as a morula. Morula stage. This morula stage further will undergo one more development called as mainly, yes, it forms a kind of a cavity inside, and then the cells keep on dividing, redividing, and then yes, we call these cells are the embryonic cells, right? And there is a cavity they develop. So this is what we can say, the cavity they have developed, and this cavity we call it as a blastocele. Blastocele. And now this stage with the blastocele cavity, it is called as mainly blastula stage or blastocyst. And these are all the cells, we call them as inner cell mass. Inner cell mass. And these are the cells going to become different kind of tissues. This blastocyst will further develop into one more stage called as gastrula stage. So gastrula. So gastro refers to be digestive system. The embryo develop a primitive digestive system like structure. Let me mention here what is this gastrula and why it is so important, because it is the stage at which the tissues start developing. So a gastrula stage will be appearing like this. So it has much more deeper depression that will develop into a gut system. And now you will find basically one more layer will develop, one more layer of cells will develop, right? So one more layer of cells are developing, and again still in inner one more layer of cells developed. So what happens this? We say that it is mainly gastrocele. Gastrocele, or we call it as a gut cavity of the embryo, and it has the outermost ectoderm, and it has middle mesoderm, and innermost is called as endoderm. Thus these are the three important embryonic membranes or embryonic layers. They are going to develop into different kind of tissues. Means what kind of tissues they are going to develop, let me tell you here. Basically, so when we talk about the kind of mainly here ectoderm give rise to epithelial tissue, epithelium, and even it give rise to the nervous system. So nervous tissue, nervous system it give rise. Then mesoderm that give rise to mainly the bone connective tissue. And then even about the muscles, and inner endoderm, what it forms? Endoderm forms mainly visceral organs. What they are? Visceral organs that includes mainly intestine, gut system, right? So even the soft tissues like the pancreas, okay? So number of glandular structures also may form, but lots of glandular structures are formed mainly by the ectoderm only. Well, so you need to have a basic idea what actually I am going to talk about the tissues. When we say the whole animal or plant body made up of cells, because cells are the basic unit of life. And then when we talk about the tissue, yes, tissues are mainly group of cells which are differentiated. If they are undifferentiated, it may become the cancerous tumor. That's why group of cells which are differentiated having the common origin and function. So they may be originated from ectoderm only, They may be originated from mesoderm itself, or they may be originated from endoderm itself. So then only we call it as a mainly what a tissue. Now, how actually tissues are started forming? A sperm and egg fuses, then it's going to develop as a zygote or embryo. As the zygote keep dividing embryogenesis, we say the cellular divisions are called the cleavage divisions. Embryo develops, then embryo after 8 cell, 32 cell, 16, 32, 64 cells, then 128 cells, then 256 cells. Then onwards, the cell division is irregular and continuous. A solid ball of cells will be formed. There is no cavity inside, but a stage will come where inside a cavity develops. That cavity is called the blastocele. The stage is called the blastocyst. So here what happens? Inner cell mass are there. Those are the cells which are going to develop as an embryo. So the further it enter into a stage called gastrula. A gastrula stage is mainly having a gastrocele or gut cavity of the embryo and three important germinal layers. We call them as a outermost ectoderm, middle mesoderm, inner is called as endoderm. So ectoderm give rise to the epithelial tissue, nervous tissue. Mesoderm give rise to the mainly bone, cartilage, connective tissue, muscles. Endoderm develops mainly visceral organs. It may be intestine, it may be stomach, it may be pancreas. So number of the smooth tissues are developed by the endoderm. So this is the origin of the tissues. Now let us understand how actually the animal tissues are classified, and we are going to discuss in detail about animal tissues now. So animal tissues, yes, in your earlier school curriculum you have studied, right? So animal tissues are broadly classified as 4 important types. We are going to discuss about those 4 important types only, what they are. So animal tissues are broadly classified as, number 1 we call it as epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. Then the second one is basically it is connective tissue. Connective tissue. The third category, as third kind of tissue, is mainly the muscular tissue. Muscular tissues. The fourth type is mainly nervous tissue. Nervous tissue. These are the 4 important type of tissues. But these tissues themselves have classified now, undergone lots of differentiation, and they have become subtypes. What are those subtypes? Epithelial tissue is, we can say that the subtype, it is squamous tissue. Squamous tissue. Second one is cuboidal tissue. Cuboidal tissue or cuboidal epithelium. Sorry, it is squamous epithelium and it is cuboidal epithelium. The third type is columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium. The fourth type is mainly the ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium. The fifth type, glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. So first I will give you the overview of all these tissues, and then in detail we will be discussing about each of them. So when we talk about connective tissues are again classified as mainly 3 types. We call them as a loose connective tissue. Loose connective tissue. So loose connective tissue or subtypes are two. So they are mainly areolar tissue, areolar and adipose. The fat we call it as areolar and adipose. Then second category comes dense connective tissue. So what is this dense connective tissue? It has mainly dense irregular and dense regular. So dense connective tissue, yes, irregular, which is found beneath the skin. Dense regular connective tissue has subtype, mainly we call them as ligaments and tendon. I am going to tell you the meaning of these. Then number 3, special kind of connective tissues. Special connective tissues. Special connective tissue that includes basically, it is bone, it is cartilage, and it is blood. Fine. So muscular connective tissues, muscular tissues, the third category of the tissue here. What are those muscular? Mainly we call them as, there are subtypes such as skeletal muscles, skeletal or striated muscles. Second type is smooth or non-striated. Third is striated involuntary. It is very popularly, yes, well known as cardiac muscles. Fine. What we will study under the nervous tissue? Here we will study mainly the neurons and mainly the supportive, or they are the glial cells. Fine. So here, this is what we are going to understand when we talk about animal tissues. Number 1, squamous epithelium, or in the epithelium. Epi refers to what? Surface area. The surface area that can be outside the body or inside the body, right? So the skin is being a largest organ. Yes, the skin is sensitive to the touch, pressure, prick, hot, cold. Yes, this skin is because of epithelium, we can say. So even inside the mouth, inside the nose, inside the esophagus, stomach, intestine, inside the genital organs, we have epithelium, right? So even inside the glands, it may be the liver or pancreas, or even inside the lungs, yes, we do have the surface area, and that surface is covered by the tissue called as epithelium. So epithelium is the tissue that covers the surface area, whether it is external or internal surface, no problem. Now squamous epithelium means these are the cells, very flat cells. So the structure and their location and functions we will be discussing. Mainly they provide the protection and mechanism of simple diffusion. Cuboidal epithelium, the name itself indicates the cells are cube-like. Okay, they are like cuboidal epithelial cells, and these are mainly found in the exocrine ducts. So when a gland is not having any duct, it is called endocrine. It may be the pituitary gland, thyroid gland, it may be the, we can say that adrenal gland. These are all without ducts, so they are endocrine. But pancreas is there, liver is there, right? So those are having the duct, and inside the duct we find cuboidal epithelium. Other than that, inside the kidney we have nearly 1 million of nephron tubes. Inside they have the cuboidal epithelium. Columnar epithelium, column-like cells, they found In the intestine or in the stomach also columnar epithelium do exist. Their function is to give the secretion. So here the cuboidal epithelium also helps in optimum amount of secretion and absorption. Here secretion and absorption both will happen by the columnar epithelium, column-like cells. Ciliated epithelium, the cells having the hair-like structures, or we call them as the cilia. And ciliated epithelium present in the respiratory tract also. Ciliated epithelium present even in the oviduct of the female. In the female reproductive system, the egg will move into a tube called as oviduct. In that oviduct, ciliated epithelium is present. They keep on beating one direction, that help in the passive movement of the egg. Glandular epithelium, yes, the epithelium may be modified to secrete certain amount of secretions, such as, best example we say, mucus secreting cells in our stomach. In the stomach we have the acid called as HCl. If mucous membrane is not there, that acid will burn our stomach. So to avoid that effect, there is a mucus secreting cells. They are mainly glandular epithelial cells. Even our salivary gland, also a compound glandular epithelium, we can say like that. Glandular epithelium is there. So epithelium totally what? It can cover the external surface or internal surface. Now we need to know, it's all just a brief introduction I am giving you. We need to know about the connective tissue. What is the main function of connective tissue? It works as a connective link between different systems, right? So bone and muscles, yes, there is a connective tissue do exist. In between the cells, there is a connective tissue present. Beneath the skin, there is a connective tissue present. So connective tissue is very, very essential, that gives the flexibility to the body. So loose connective tissue we called as mainly areolar tissue, and yes, areolar tissue present beneath the skin. So our skin is not so rigid like the shell of the tortoise, right? Our skin is highly flexible because presence of areolar tissue. There are certain, we can say that collagen fiber, elastin fibers are there. Adipose tissue, the name itself says that adipose refers to be the fat. So fat storing tissue, it is the cells are larger enough. Beneath the skin we do have the some amount or good amount of fat. That's why day after day or as we age we become the fat when we don't do the exercise. But the fat also help in, we can say that it provides a nourishment when there is no food available for survival. So there are lots of things you might have seen, a dolphin, a seal, whale, all of them they have the adipose tissue. Then dense connective tissue, that can be the irregular, yes, that can be seen beneath the skin, or they can be regular. The cells are arranged very compactly, properly. Then it is called as the ligament. Means bone to bone, the flexibility is there, they are connected because the fibers, ligaments are connecting. Tendon, the bone and muscles are connected by the tendons. Now, when we say special connective tissue, yes, they are the special because bone is a very hardest and rigid connective tissue that gives the framework to the entire body. Bone is the source of RBC and WBC also because it has bone marrow, right? It gives the protection to the vital organ like brain, skull is there, like heart and lungs protected by our ribs. So entire body is supported locomotion movement by the bones. If we don't have the bones, imagine we will be just a mass of flesh. So bone gives the framework to the body. Cartilage, yes, cartilage, our voice box made up of cartilage. Our nose, our tip of the ear, all they are made up of cartilage. In between the bones, friction should not happen. That's why cartilage is there. If cartilage breaks, bone to bone, then crushing, then severe pain, arthritis. Blood is most important connective tissue, liquid connective tissue or fluid connective tissue we say. That is the most important media for transportation of the gases, removal of the metabolic waste, supplementation of the nutrients. Without blood, yes, our survival is highly difficult, we can say. So this is all about connective tissue. When we talk about muscular tissue, yes, Muscles are identity of the human, we can say. Some people develop, go to the gym and do lots of exercise, and then the muscles become their identity, right? So muscles are of basically three types. Skeletal muscles, those muscles which are attached to the bones. Then smooth muscles or non-striated muscles which are found in the blood vessels, muscles which are found in the intestine and stomach. Then striated and involuntary, yes, the heart muscles. From birth to death, they keep on working and functioning. They are called striated muscles, which will never undergo any tiredness because they have large number of mitochondria, the source of energy. Neuron, mainly the part of nervous system. Without nervous system, without sense organ, we are not at all connected to the outer world, right? So nervous system is most important. We have billions of neurons in our brain, and our central nervous system means the brain and spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system means the nerves coming out of mainly the cranium, cranial nerves we say, the brain coming, the nerves coming out of the spinal cord, spinal nerves we say, the nerves which are reaching to the tip of the finger also, yes, all that comes under peripheral nervous system. We will be discussing about different kinds of neurons, and we will be discussing how these neurons are given with the, provided with the nourishment, protection, and reparative mechanism also exists. So supportive cells, we call them as the glial cells. All this we are going to discuss in detail in the next class. Each one by one tissues we are going to study. Yes. So we will meet again in the next class. Till then, take care, study well. See you.